The Cameroon government, after the creation of the Grand Measure National Dialogue that took 3 days to discuss and look for ways to reduce the level of violence in the northwest and the southwest region, alongside the far north region and other areas in Cameroon that is facing insecurity, and also to consolidate national unity in areas that needed building of national unity. Since the creation or since the organization of the Grand Measure National Dialogue, there was a suggestion to the creation of the Center for Disarmament, Demobilization and Reintegration, the DDR Center, that was chartered by actual fighters who were fighting for the restoration of the so-called Southern Cameroon's independence. Others are stating that they are fighters, but some were paid to stage. How true are this assertion? We've witnessed within the week the outing of a repentant separatist fighter, one-time General Nambere, self-acclaimed General Nambere, of the Ambazonian people fighting movement, who came out fervently, vehemently talking about his outing. And also we saw an outburst from former fighters such as Kawa Yannick and others who questioned why Nambere had to threaten the Prime Minister of the Republic and also the nation as a whole, with Kawa Yannick stating that Nambere never dropped his arms, that he was paid to come out and presented to us when he arrived in Yaoundé. How true are these assertions of Kawa Yannick, who is still within Cameroon, and Nambere is out of Cameroon? This is House of Commons with me, Tah Mai Jarvis. Mr. Atem from the United States of America to join us to discuss on today's topic, which we will be looking at two topics of today. We shall be looking at the talking separatist fighters out of the bushes. Is it patriotism or a business? And also we shall be looking at the second topic of the day. And in the second topic, we shall dive straight deeper into the Anglophone crisis. To begin the edition, I welcome you, Ndiwum Emmanuel. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, Tah Mai Jarvis. And greetings to my co-panelists, greetings to all the people and the viewers of House of Commons. It's always a pleasure to be here, and I'm happy to be here once more today. Thank you for the invitation.
Thank you very much. Also, Nick Anu, you're welcome and happy Sunday to you.
Happy Sunday, Tah Mai Jarvis. Happy Sunday to our fellow viewers of House of Commons. Happy Sunday to fellow Cameroonians watching us at this moment. And thank you once more for inviting me here. And lastly, happy Sunday to fellow panelists, Mr. Ndiwum. Thank you.
Thank you very much. If you are watching us, you can keep the conversation going on our Facebook channel, My Media Prime Television, our YouTube channel, BT Media Group, and you can keep the conversation also on WhatsApp, where you can write us on the numbers that will soon be displayed on your screen. We'll begin with the first topic, which we are looking at talking separatist fighters from the bush. I'll begin with you, Ndiwum Emmanuel. I want to find out, has it become more of a business or patriotism? Because from the onset, we were told that those who were doing this were doing it from the angle of patriotism. And there's been a lot of nuance as far as talking separatist fighters away from the bush is concerned. Others say others are being staged, others say others are being paid to come and pretend or parade themselves as separatist fighters. How will you make of the situation within the DDR Center?
Well, the reality is that there is a DDR Center that we must admit. The second reality is that those who are put to manage it are there. That's what we should also admit. And the third reality is that we are still confused whether it is functional, is doing what it was supposed to be done. The people who are there are the real people who ought to have been there, or they are staged puppets to send across a false message. That's why I say the third reality is the confusion that normally should be in the mind of every Cameroonian who still has the love, that patriotism, that nostalgia for his or her country, to actually be examined, able to examine, to know if what that structure was put forth for is yielding any fruit. That said, to think that talking the separatists out of the bushes to put them in the GDR center is an act of patriotism. It will not be in my place to actually say whether it is patriotism or business. But as a keen observer and somebody who has been following happenings very closely, I want to say generally that in this world, there are those who have been eating very fat. That's the economic part of it. Both of them are found in the government. They are in the military corps, the ministers, they're eating fat, general managers. Now, we also have the side of the Amber Boys, whom in which many of them have chosen to eat very fat. You know that they have more than 10 groups, and these groups do not speak with one voice. This group will accuse this one for kidnapping, this one will accuse this one for collaborating with Yaoundé. And so, to put it brief, Tah Mai Jarvis, in a war situation like that in Cameroon, there must be economic actors either operating from behind or as middlemen. That said, in your editorial, you talked about what happened in Yaoundé in the name of a national dialogue. That was to concern Northwest, Southwest, and Far North. I wish to differ with you when Far North comes in. That conference in Yaoundé, that CPDM meeting in Yaoundé, was a meeting that all Cameroonians of goodwill who wanted to see the war in Northwest and Southwest go to rest, all clamored for a general come together of all the actors perpetrating these acts, these heinous acts in Northwest and Southwest, so that they could chart a way forward and to chart a way out of this stalemate. But the government missed a penalty. This penalty was that dialogue that was supposed to take place in Yaoundé, and it was done the wrong way because the real actors were not there. And when we talk about people like Nambere, you will bear witness with me that it is still making news that today Nambere comes. We say it is alleged because the videos are there. You are not the one who made it. Ndiwum is not the one who made it.
We'll have to play it.
Yes.
We'll come to analyze it later.
Now, when we look at people like Nambere today come out threatening the government, say it loud and clear that he was fooled to drop his gun. Promises that were made never came to fruition. It means that those in authority, it is either they have something that they have not been telling us Cameroonians the right way, or they have a secret with some of these Amber Boys that they carry out certain operations that you and I cannot know until they fall out and the Amber Boys themselves start revealing the truth. Okay. And before you take the microphone,
I just want to know whether Atem is connected also.
Yes, let it be known that if the government could work with Nambere in their armor car, who was a terrorist yesterday, and today we are not sure whether he has ceased from being a terrorist, it means that the government can equally work with no pity. The government can work with the chachas. I think chacha is of late. The government can work with all those people they call terrorists. And now, if Nambere is talking about the kind of sum that was paid to him to drop his gun, and you count the number of Amber Boys or the generals, you will ask yourself, where is the Cameroon government taking this kind of money to pay these boys? To pay these boys, whereas we have teachers in this same country who have gone for 10 years and some of them are already in their graves who do not have money. We'll be coming back to that because it's a serious issue.
I don't know. Atem, who is from the United States of America, I don't know if Atem is connected. Atem, good afternoon. I'm sure it should be morning over there. Struggling to get to Atem. I don't know if my producer will indicate if Atem is available. Is Atem available? Atem, good morning. We'll be coming back to you, Atem. We're struggling to get to you. Anu, I want us to look at what will you make of the recent happenings within the digital center, especially with a lot of controversial discussion, people coming out openly to state that money was exchanged and for people to drop their arms. But these were not stories we were told from the beginning when these said persons or Nambere and his team dropped their arms. We were told that their arms were dropped voluntarily. They respected the call of the President of the Republic to drop their arms.
I think from the beginning of the creation of the DDR Center.
Okay, Atem is connected. Atem, good morning. I don't know. I can see you. I don't know if you can get me. Mr. Atem, can you get me? I can see you on screen. I don't know if you can get me. Please, can you get me? If you can get me, let's maybe we're coming back to you. Yes, I was asking you your reaction. What we make of the digital center when we're told that people voluntarily drop their arms and later on we were told that they were bought.
Yeah, I was saying that in the beginning there were indications that the concept of the DDRO was not born out of goodwill. It was just, if you analyze it well, you see that it was just born out of deception, to give an impression that the war has ended. Because to me, the DDRO center is supposed to come after a war has ended or after a ceasefire in a war has been negotiated. Then you bring in the concept of a DDRO center. Maybe the government brought that concept as a strategy to show that they're winning. But if we look at it critically, the DDRO center is not serving the purpose in which it was created to be. If you follow the previous videos of after the so-called national dialogue, if you follow the interviews of people like Padia Sanga, Kinley, you will hear him say that the money they gave him during the Grand National Dialogue, he used some. I think it was in this media house he mentioned that he used some to pay transport for fighters that he convinced to drop their arms to go to the DDRO center, and so on and so forth. So to me, and I was asking myself that if somebody willingly drop his arms, why should the person be given money to go to the DDR center? And if we have been following happenings at that center or at those centers, you will see that most of the times are on constant strike, meaning that the place itself is not just well organized. And we cannot also deny the fact that talking people out of the bushes is real-time business. If you look at when Nambere and Success Congo and the group that came from Nigeria later on, if you heard the interview of Success, you will hear that there were so many missions that were sent to Nigeria, they negotiated and so on. That was what they could just say on camera, but we cannot really for sure say what took place backstage, the money that was paid, because I don't see reasons why those who drop their arms will be carried by air and then dropped in their own day. And today, we don't even know where they are today. We don't even know whether they are at the DDR center. Nambere, who was one of the people, is at loggerhead now with the government. It means that the whole issue is just a cacophony. So it is a place of the government to come out clearly and tell us, even though they took a wrong step, creating a DDR center, any right-thinking person will be analyzing the impact of what was created as a means to solve the Anglophone crisis. Even though to me it is a distraction, creating the DDR center. You cannot at the same time you are still fighting and then you are creating a DDR center to convince some people to go there. If it was really that effective, we should have been witnessing massive people dropping their arms to go there. But on the contrary, that's not what we see on ground.
Okay. I want us to have this video of Nambere, because they've been, after Nambere made this video, we've had reactions from different surrogates of the government and also those who brand themselves as patriots. We've had the appearance of first of all Kawa Yannick. We've had that of also Yannick Scott. We've had that of My Country People. We've had that of Moja Moja. We've had that of Susie Spark. We've had that of Franklin Jume. A lot of self-acclaimed patriots and also patriots, puts it that way, have come out denouncing the outing of Nambere. Let's have this video before coming to what they said, and so that you can react to it.
Okay.
Desmond, you too.
Well, while the technical team prepares the video for Nambere, we'll go now to we'll continue the discussion while waiting that they come with this video. There was an allegation from Susie Sparks. You know, she made allusion that Nambere actually should go and apologize to the family of the divisional officer of Batibo. That is the Dio who till date, we don't know where he is, Dio Namate. The family don't know where he was killed or buried or nothing as such. According to Susie Sparks, who is in Douala, that it was Nambere that kidnapped the Dio Namante, that Nambere killed him, and also Nambere should come and apologize, according to Susie Sparks. But Nambere came to Cameroon, and we did not hear about reconciliation with the family. We did not hear about also issues about the family of the Dio to even have a right to bury their loved one respectfully. Your reaction to that? How true are those allegations from Susie Sparks?
Well, the first interrogation should be, who is Susie Sparks in the first place? Because you are talking about, to me, Susie Sparks, you know, Susie Sparks is one of the girls, I don't even know her qualification to talk about national issues. Permit me say so.
No, but she's a Cameroonian. Now everybody has a right to contribute to nation building. And
well,
everybody does.
As far as Ndiwum Emmanuel is concerned, Susie Sparks is a known event.
No, you cannot. And, you cannot make
when she says
Nambere,
listen.
No, I know, but you cannot make the allegation that she's a non-event.
It is not an allegation; it's an affirmation, and I assume it.
But she's a Cameroonian.
Now, when you say Susie Sparks asked Nambere, I think if we were in the right country, in the correct country, the military would have taken Susie Sparks things to exploit her for very useful information. Because I think this is one of the girls that I will use the opportunity to say today that she has endangered the lives of many Cameroonians. Just going to Facebook, carrying your family photos, paste on Facebook and say you are Amber. It is verifiable. And I can trace it wherever.
So it's not patriotism?
No. I think little crumbs are manipulating that girl. I don't know whether it's a girl or it's a lady, because I've not met her before. So when she says Nambere ought to have apologized, where was she when Nambere came to Cameroon? Was moving in armored cars with the military, showing the hideouts of other fellow Amber boys. She ought to have, I think there is information that she's keeping. She has a link with the Amber boys that needs to be exploited. And I think if the Cameroon government uses their intelligence to exploit, whether it's a woman or it's a girl or a lady, to exploit, they will get very good information. Now, My problem comes back with the government. We have heard time and immemorial that we don't dialogue with terrorists. Honestly speaking, I subscribe to what my co-panelist said a while ago. If the intention as to why the GDR was put in place was to be rightfully served Tah Mai Jarvis, we would have expected to see Nambere
there, yeah,
in the GDR camp. He has killed, he has kidnapped, he has done a lot of things, he has tortured. So, in their words, as they put it, he is a terrorist. He should be in the GDR camp. 2, Success Nkongo, who presently is still a terrorist, that the Cameroon government needs to exploit him. Why is he running and going to Nigeria and running his mouth like a weaver bird? He should come back to Cameroon like some of us, denounce the government in place while in Cameroon. But he has been communicating with the government. And remember, we have all proofs to show that Congo is still a terrorist.
No,
all his posts.
You are saying he's still a terrorist, but what barometer do you quantify him? Because
that is why I am telling you that we have every proof. Take me to the highest court. I'll prove to you that Congo is still a terrorist. I have it. Congo has all his posts on Facebook. He's not doing it hiddenly.
Are you sure it is a verified Facebook?
Listen, when Congo comes out and says the exact sum that he only negotiated for the release of money, and he says he assumed it, the Cameroon government, I think you people should use the Transborder Criminal Code to pick him, bring him here, so that he give us all those facts. Thirdly, Kawa Yannick, who is also running his mouth, he was supposed to be in the GDR center.
He says it.
Oh my God, Tah Mai Jarvis. I mean, we are not coming from universe. We are not coming from Jupiter now. We are in Cameroon. Kawa Yannick is not in the GDR center. I just pray that your technician should play the video here. Last time I watched a program here with the so-called patriots you are naming on the platform, who are supposed to all be arrested and investigated. They were talking about Kawa Yannick said with his mouth that I am talking now like this. This is my house, this is my child, this is my wife. Now, those are little things that are making Cameroonians not to believe in anything linked to the GDR.
Okay. Let's get to the video of Nambere, then we'll come back to the discussion, because a lot of people are saying that there is patriotism in talking separatists out of the bush, but it has now become more of business venture. And that is why Nambere had to do the outing. Let's get Nambere's outing and look at the analysis behind it.
I give. Yeah, good morning. Yeah, I'm sending this message directly to the Prime Minister, my father, the head of government, Patriotism. I've always been loyal to you as a son, and I give all my priority to you, and I forget about anything. The start was going well, but little did I know that politics is a politic. I've discovered that I've been used and my part is finished, so nobody has time. I stopped this fight not because I was scared or somebody come and bother me that I should stop. I cannot be an adopted son to the Prime Minister of my country, the head of government, and I was called by the President of my country. I'm still living like somebody who was called by a tapper from the village. If I want to pay my house rent, I need to beg for money. If I want to buy gas in my house, I need to beg for money. I cannot tell you how many times I run to this particular office to beg that I need a business on my own. let me start something on my own. And they told me that I should go and come back. I met you in the house. You say you have approved it. I should meet the director of cabinet, Paibune, that is going to give me the money, which I have done it several times. That is true that what you have been doing to me, it should not be like I'm ungrateful. I will still tell you thank you. But at this particular point of the day, you need to understand, I never hand over these things to you. I never. You know very well, in the whole southern British Cameroon, I am the only and the oldest general that is still alive. And I was holding a very bigger portion of soldiers which I was controlling, which there are 6,500, starting from Memento Kupe Maningova, right to Bamenda, to the northwest. If I have not removed this boy from the bush, about, let me just say 600 have come out from the bush, which all the risks have been taken.
Thank you very much from that video. We are also going to come up, we are also going to have the video of Kawa Yannick responding to Nambere. But first of all, I want to get your reaction of that video. Nambere said when he came to Yaoundé, when he was received at the airport alongside with others, he said he has dropped his arms. And today we are hearing him saying that he never handed all his arms. Could this be the same situation of some others at the DDR center who, because maybe you could say we've handed partially our arms to observe how the government will treat us, and if they don't treat us well, maybe?
To me, the whole issue of this DDR center is just a mafia. To me, it's just a clear mafia, because the Nambere is talking out of frustration. Maybe they did the heart. They never respected their own part. Maybe they use him as a political game to play their politics and then abandon him to the background. And today he's feeling frustrated and then going back, thinking of going back to the bushes and then still having his guns and so on. He's talking of still having fighters in the bush. I don't know how serious all of this can be, but from the video, from the look of things, to me, just out of frustration he's talking. If you look at the video where he's talking of him begging money to pay rent and take care of his family and so on. But the first question we should be asking is the government is, when Nambere came back from Nigeria, if they had to follow the right procedure, the first place they were supposed to go to was to the DDR center, not to Yaoundé even. If they had received them in Yaoundé, the next day they were supposed to be at the DDR center directly. As we are told that the DDR center is a training center where they are trained, then reinserted into the society. How come he wanted reinsertion without being trained, without being reformed, without his maybe supposed terrorist mind being reformed? So the terrorist mind was not reformed, and then he has resurfaced again. And I think the government is to be blamed, to me. Honestly, the government is to be blamed concerning this. We may not have information on the background deals they had with him and Success Congo, because we're told that it was Success Congo who convinced him when he was in Nigeria to follow the orders to come back.
Even today, please, I'm not cutting you.
Yeah.
We are told, and let others find out, that the attacks on the Prime Minister of Cameroon, Joseph John Wote, by Nambere, is a manipulation of Felio Congo, who is, that is why I'm saying that the government should use every means possible. Because one, Tah Mai Jarvis, why am I so angry when I get this name anytime? There are still boys who are in the bushes who do not have a way to come out, that were sent there by Congo. I don't want to call that other name that they call it, whether it's success or whatsoever. And till today, he has played his part. We are hearing that he has economic deals at the back of the curtain that he plays, that he wants to bring out more voices from the bushes and then send them to DDR. We don't know how true those allegations are, but the fact that he still runs his mouth from Nigeria, even threatening the Cameroon government, I mean the Nkongo man, using Nambere this time, is something that the security of Cameroon and Nigeria should collaborate. We need Congo back in Cameroon to give us facts that we don't know. Some of us talk at times analyzing things from a distance, whereas those of them who perpetrate these acts are not there to give us the refined information. Yeah. We need him. We need the so-called Nambere, because if you will not tell me that Nambere killed, if it is true, like you say, the one so-called Susie Spark or one like that says he's the one who killed the duo of Batibo, how come the government met him? Could it be that the government wanted to send a soft message to the other ones that, look, we have seen Nambere, he has killed, we have forgiven him, we want all of you people to come? What explains the fact that in some areas like Boyo, some boys who have dropped their guns ended up still being arrested and ferried to Bamenda Center prison? Maybe they were not at the GDR Center now? Was Nambere at the GDR Center? That's the question I'm asking. I am now asking you and asking Cameroonian authorities. Has Nambere ever gone to the GDR Center? Yes. Has Kawa Yannick ever gone to the GDR Center? Has Congo ever been to the GDR Center? Or there are some people who should go there, and there are some who should be received at the airport with the military, with the fuel, that we have to fuel the aeroplanes, the helicopters to pick them up. In fact, it's a mess. It's a mess altogether. We are playing with Cameroonians' lives, and I want to think that we are tired of talking and talking every day and nothing is changing. Now we are begging. We are on our knees. Our government, please look into this case. You saw what happened last week, Tah Mai Jarvis. Do you want to tell me that one day I will just sit? They will tell me that Cameroon government received no pity at the Simale airport, took him to the Prime Minister's office. You heard what Nambere was saying there, that he was received by a coordinated chain of officials at the Prime Minister's office, a place that some of us who have been fighting to change the country cannot be received there. Nambere is received there, and he was made juicy promises, and he still has the guts to open his mouth and jabber anyhow, and then the authorities are silent. At times they also say silence means acceptance. I don't know whether the silence means they have accepted that they failed to agree to the deal that they signed with Nambere, or silence means they are planning to do what some of us wanted to do. We want Nambere and Congo, especially in Congo, back to Cameroon.
But they say administration is slow but surely, and maybe the government also is looking for a way to attract those who are still in the bushes to say, hey guys, you know, it's time for you to drop your arms in Nambere. We've not done anything to Nambere, and so we want you to drop your arms and leave the bush and come back to the GDR Center.
No, with all this cacophony surrounding the GDR Center, who will be in the bush and desire to drop the arms, and then seen from what Nambere is going through, there's none of those so-called fighters in the bushes who will be willing and who desire to drop the arms to come and pass through the very thin Nambere, and the rest are passing through. Or they also have, most of them also know what goes through at the GDR Center, because they know most of their colleagues who have dropped arms and gone there, and some have gone there, escaped, gone back to the bushes. So they actually know what is happening at the DDR Center. The DDR Center was supposed to be, to me, the concept of bringing it by the government was a kind of seductive means to seduce those who are still in the bushes, then to drop their arms and come out. Of course, if you want to seduce something or somebody, you have to make it to look attractive. But that's not what the government is doing. If you make the DDR center to look unattractive, how do you expect those who are in the bushes to drop their arms and come there? They will look at it as simply as a child's play. To me, that's how they look at it. It will be just like a child's play, and none of them will be willing to drop their arms and go there.
Okay, Ndiwum Emmanuel. Namere, before coming to Namere issue, I want us to go back to Kawai Yannick. Kawai Yannick made it clear in his outing that Namere has never dropped his arms. And these are strong allegations. And Kawai Yannick is in Cameroon. It means that what he is saying is that Namere was paid to come and stage that he has dropped his arms. And that Namere was given huge amount of money. And according to what Kawai Yannick is saying, that if this is the same amount, if he had received such an amount, he would have been at least somebody well established in Cameroon with numerous businesses. And now, with this accession of money, and can we for sure say that the aspect of patriotism in talking people out of the bushes is not there?
In the first place, who is a patriot in Cameroon? I will give you some few characteristics of a patriot in Cameroon. Patriotism in the general sense means love and selflessness for fatherland. On the contrary, in Cameroon, patriotism means love for CPDM and clapping and dancing for Mr. Biya. That is the definition of patriotism in Cameroon. So, to cue from your question, it could also be true. We don't know how far, like you rightly said, there are allegations. What my friend G. Lucas called bounty patriots. It could also be true that the bounty patriots are struggling to clean their face in front of their master to maintain their post. And this can be done through buying some few people to drop their guns, come to the public, take off their hands and say, no, as from this day, I become a patriot. That is without even going through the DDR center. Real patriotism, as we talk now, Tah Mai Jarvis, is to tell Mr. Biya the truth that he already knows, because about the Anglophone war, he knows. Nobody should fool you that he is not aware. The last truth that he should know is the truth to tell him that the war is unwinnable in either side, whether on the side of the government or on the side of the separatists. First of all, this Anglophone problem to me seems to be spiritual, because even those who are not holding guns have a particular spirit that links them to that crisis. So it will be difficult to separate these spirits and the physical part of what we can fight as a state. Now, like I said, if the authorities that be wants the real thing, they should put up instead of maybe talking out people from the bushes with coins, they should talk out the president from the presidency to go down to the field and talk to the general population and not to some particular people. And if this is done, he will know and he will notice that things may change. I am not so certain, because we have actually gone a long way to this war. Now, the authorities need to forget about their self-interest. They need to tell the president the truth that on the field it is not going. They need to talk like Senator Madame Mundi that Northwest is in real war. These were his words, not Ndiwum's words. Now, another thing again is that Mr. Biya, the trust that you gave to the Northwest and Southwest elite, please, my dear President, withdraw this trust. They are the most dishonest people you have ever worked with in your entire life. They have not been telling you exact. Some of them don't go right to their villages. They just end at the main towns they come back with reports to Yaoundé that they have been to their villages. It is a lie. To end, when a country's security intelligence is entrusted into the hands of the so-called bounty patriot, Tah Mai Jarvis, like the ones you named here a while ago, the country is heading towards a peril. Because information that you people, journalists, us of the civil society that we're working on the ground are supposed to have, we are not having it. It is coming from a so-called person who calls herself a patriot.
Okay, I want us to get to Atem, who is in the United States of America, so that he can give us his own view. We have been struggling to get to him. Atem, good morning and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Jarvis. Thank you, everyone in the studio, my brother Anu, and my very good friend whom I follow in every of his program, be it my media prime, Equinox, or wheresoever, Mr. Ndiwum Emmanuel. I really appreciate everything you guys are doing. I mean,
yeah, thank you very much. I want to get your reaction as far as the issue of talking separatists out of the bush is concerned. Is it an aspect of patriotism, or is it an aspect of money?
Mr. Jarvis, I would say first of all, when they call them separatists, I laughed because they are not separatists. They are not separatists. Those are young Cameroonians who know the right for their own selves. Listen, Cameroon is no more the Cameroon of 1960s, 1940s, 1960s. People are educated. People know what they want. We're in the 21st century where even a child of 5 years manipulates on a laptop and you look at it, the only thing that comes in your mind, you keep asking questions when you know you were brought up without even seeing a laptop. You can imagine schooling from primary up to the level of university without seeing a laptop in those days. And then if you see what is happening today, the government has made a mistake. All this talking left and right, telling people they should do this, they should do that. The church is playing a vital role. But the government doesn't want to listen to the civil society and the church. The government believes on his own self, thinking that with the military option they are doing the best. Let me tell you, I'm not a historian, but I will make you understand that there is no war. From a bit of history I did, and then informed, although I did more of science. For a bit of history I know there is no war that has been won within a country and its own people. The only thing you can do is to call for a genuine dialogue. Okay, if you think you are so smart, you call for a dialogue and call the CPDM party people to sit around and dine, wine yourself, enjoy yourself, and you go and tell the world that you had a dialogue. That was no dialogue.
My question now is, we've seen the outing of Nambere, which stated that Nambere stating that he was fooled or deceived to drop his arms, and we've seen the outing of other former fighters from the non-state armed perspective, such as Kawa Yannick, who came out to say that Nambere was paid to stage that Nambere never dropped his arms. We've seen outing of other self-acclaimed or some patriot and some self-acclaimed patriot who claimed that Nambere was actually paid to and did not drop the arms as he ought to have done it. And so, with all of this, can we say that it's more of a money-making venture for people to drop their arms, or it's more of patriotism to talk separatists out of the bush?
It has become a business. Nambere is talking. I've seen the video of Nambere very well. I've seen the video of other friends of his type. Those guys, there's a group in the government that knows the game. That's not patriotism. That's not patriotism. We know what is patriotism. That's not patriotism. It's more of a business ground for some of the government officials. How will you pay a separatist? If you call them separatists, how will you pay them? When somebody leaves and drops his arms, it's for you to bring the person to the DDR center as you claim. I mean, rehabilitate the person. Let me tell you, The government, we have a sleeping government and outdated brain people.
No, but you cannot say no. You cannot call them outdated brain people. These are people.
I take my responsibility.
No. But yeah, I know you take responsibility. But you want to tell me that if you were working in the government, will you accept the fact that somebody called you an outdated brain person where you are doing a service? We are in a democratic world.
Yeah, we are in a democratic world. When I look at the people ruling Cameroon, I see Cameroon like a village. Let me tell you, I've stayed in Washington State, I've stayed in Texas, I'm in Maryland, I work in Washington, D.C. Let me tell you something. When you look at a country, give a 5-year or a decade of we're talking of a decade, that is 10 years, and see how a country develops, and see what is happening within the youth of a particular country. Look at Cameroon. Why too much migration? Let me say so. Why too much migration? Because something is wrong. And even those who are in Cameroon, let me tell you something, David. When I finished my high school, I went to the university to study biochemistry. At the recruitments, when I was to go in for a job, do you know what they asked me? They told me to give 1.1 million to be integrated to the government service. Let me tell you something. They asked for 1.1 million. Even during the 25,000 job
recruitment.
What they were asking for money. I went to Yaoundé from one ministry. They were even linking me with people. What sort of country are we living in? And I will tell you, this is already showing the world that even the well-trained professionals in Cameroon are not even the people the world believe they are, because the real brains are those who are running out of the country.
Okay. Are we coming?
That's why Cameroon is down. That's why Cameroon is down. Look at our neighboring country.
We'll be coming back to you. Mr. Atemawoh will be coming back to you. Stay on, don't move. We'll be coming back to you. I want us to take the second topic, which is government admit the killing of 9 civilians in the northwest region, that is in Misong village in Zwa, which is in Fundong subdivision, located in Menchum division in the northwest region of Cameroon. Fungom subdivision, which is in Menchum division in the northwest region of Cameroon, where the government states that through the spokesman of the Ministry of Defense said at Tomfak that 9 civilians were killed, including an 18-month-old baby. This is the first time that people without so much pressure, things are coming up with the government admitting. When I say first time without much pressure, we understand that from others, there have been numerous pressure before communiques are being revealed, like the famous 14 February massacre in Gabu. I begin with you, Ndiwum Emmanuel. Do you think that these families will actually be given justice? Will there be justice? Will justice be served after admitting that 9 civilians were killed? Ndiwum Emmanuel.
I am not sure that even after apartheid in South Africa, the families that lost their lives were given justice. I am not sure that till date, the families of Ruben Omnyobe, Enes Wanje, Asana Afanda, and the rest were given justice. So I am not very sure that this time, they will be given justice. I am not also sure that Akum Julius, who is the first Anglophone compatriot to have succumbed to the wounds of the bullets of the Cameroon military, and he went down into history as the first person to be killed. I am not sure that his family received justice. I will not go name him. Mami Api, the Nkwakwa, and the rest who were roasted like chicken in their house. Their families have never had justice. So, what makes you to think that there will be justice this time? The only good thing here, because even Gabu, that happened, and we saw all the polemics that accompanied it, the Gabu people have not had justice to date. Tah Mai Jarvis, the only thing I can say is that for the first time, let's appreciate the defense spokesman for coming out and admitting that, no, one of us got missing. We went there in our usual manner, and as we could not find him, we decided to arrest at least 9 people.
No, that's not what the communique states. The communique revealed
9 people.
That, you are saying, but that was not what the communique stated. Is that what the communique stated?
So can I continue?
Yes, of course.
So as we were looking for one person, we fulfilled this chapter in the Bible that if you have 100 sheep and one is missing, let's go after one and abandon 99. But in their case, there were not 99. There were just 9 that were wasted to look for one soul. And in the course of that, let's recall that there was an 18-month-old baby there. So, if you are asking whether there will be justice, who should render the justice and to who and to which account? That's part 1. Part B, the military officials that have been killed, the gendarmes, the the military, the police that have been killed by the Amber Boys on the other camp. Who will render justice to them? Except you will tell me that because Cameroon government will certainly take care of the families of the deceased. It's a very good thing which is non-official, but I'm afraid it has not been practiced all through. Without leaking some information, 2 weeks ago, some military men were killed in, I think, whether it was Bello or Bango in Com. One of them happened to be from Douala. As a civil society worker, I met the mother, because the mother is my parent. She told me a lot of things that surrounded the burial of the son, even as a state uniform man, Tah Mai Jarvis. You won't believe. So, as you are asking the question, who should give, will justice be served? No, their communique came out, and that's all about it. It has ended. Don't expect any justice.
No, but the Minister of Territorial Administration said we are in a state of law.
Is he respecting law? Is the minister,
which means that law
is the Minister of Territorial Administration respecting law? Okay, if he's respecting law, we are waiting for the first time to see justice served. Now, who will serve justice to the family of these military men killed by the Amber Boys? The bottom line is stop the war.
Okay.
Call for a ceasefire. Sit on the table. Talk. Save the lives of the military and save the lives of the Amber Boys. They are all Cameroonians.
Let me come to Nick.
Whether you like it or not.
After Nick, I'll go to Mr. Atem. Nick, with the 14th February incident in Gabo, till date, we've not had that effective families. The families have not had effective justice. Also, there was a certain killing of civilians, which was also admitted, that took place in the southwest region, and also there was one that also took place in Momo Division along the Bengui Road. Also, now we've had this admittance of the government in Fungom subdivision, which is in the Misong, the village. The incident occurred in Misong, which is few meters away from Zwa, and also few meters away from Way Village in Menchum Division. That's the northwest region. Do you think that justice will be served?
I don't think so. I don't think that justice will be served this time around. Because when I read that communique, I was so much surprised. Because if you have been following up communiques from the Ministry of Defense as this crisis started, you will realize that their communiques are always issued. You realize that their communiques are always issued after prolonged pressure, after prolonged media battling, that the government did this, the government will deny that they did not do it, and then at the end of the day, they will admit it and then come out with a communique. But this one, the Ministry of Defense just removed it. A fast communique, the incident was not even mediatized. Most of us did not even know that there was kind of that massacre in that place. And some of us were reading just from the communique and were surprised that How come? Is it that the Minister of the Communication Unit in the Ministry of Defense has changed? They are more.
Because there was no pressure. There was
yes.
no pressure, and nobody really condemned, debunked it as it was in the case of Gabu, where we had the communique from the Communication Ministry, the Ministry of Communication, stating that there was the military did not kill in Gabu. We also had that of the CPDM. We had that of also some elite, and also within the ministry itself, before the head of state now gift created a commission, then we were told that the military actually killed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, that this one I'm still dumbfounded. But in the nutshell, if you look at all these incidents that are being committed by the military, first of all, they don't, if you read that communique, they don't admit that they did it intentionally. They said it was a kind of error. And then if you want to analyze it critically, as I like to analyze my things, I like to analyze things critically. How can a trained military gun down 9 people and then it is an error? That's what we should be asking ourselves.
They say it's that in a hostile, they approach a hostile population. Maybe in the process of that, they say hostile. Perhaps the people were maybe having some sticks, or maybe.
No, I think the role.
You can only be hostile when you have those things.
The role of every military, the last option is to kill. That's the role of every military. To kill should be your last option. Maybe you try to capture the person, and you can only kill when your own life maybe is at stake. But if a trained military, for example, if you gun down the first person, there is no retaliation from those you are trying to shoot. The second person, no retaliation. And then you continue to kill. Means that kind of killing is an intentional killing. You cannot say that kind of thing is collateral damage. It cannot be called collateral damage. It's kind of an intentional killing. I think that's why the government or the military, the Ministry of Communication of Defense was so fast in coming out with that communique, because they know actually that it was actually wrong to do that kind of thing. We don't expect justice to be served to these people. So why do I say so? If you go, let's go back memory lane. Or let's go back to right from the Ngabu incident. There was so much international condemnation. What has become of it today? That's why we should be asking serious question. Has the family of those victims been compensated? Has justice been served to these people? I think the primary principle of justice should be that justice should not only be done, justice should be seen to be done. In all of these cases, we have never seen justice being done publicly. Most of these cases are supposed to be tried in the public under the coverage of media houses, so that we should see justice being safe. It should not be just be done in secret. They just come to tell us that these people have been sentenced and so on, and the story ends there. And nobody can verify that they were actually even tried in court or not. And so, if you go back even to the issue of Boko Haram in the north, like the people were killed in the north by women with children who were shot at close range. Right up to today, we have not had an account of whether justice was safe. How do you know that the case is in court? When you as a media man, you cannot even go there to cover.
We were told that the case, we were told that the case.
Did you go there to cover?
We were told that the case is in court.
Yeah, how do we know that the case is in court?
I'll be coming back to you. Atem, I read you, are you there?
I'm getting everything.
I read a line of the communique released by Colonel Seperatist Atonfak, spokesman of the Ministry of Defense for Cameroon, in reaction to the killings, admitting the killings of 9 civilians in Misong village in Fungom subdivision in Menchum division of the Northwest region. He says that in an inappropriate reaction, unsuited unsuited to the circumstances and manifestly disproportionate to the hostile villagers, refusers to cooperate, the soldiers in hasty reaction of self-protection used their weapons. Colonel Seperatist Atonfa was talking as far as that is concerned. What's your reaction to that?
Yeah. First of all, I would say Colonel Atonfa is just a spokesperson. He wasn't at the spot. That was the first thing.
I'm getting you.
The first thing is that Colonel Atonfa was never at the spot. He just given a report sent to him by other.
Yes, I'm getting you.
Professionalism.
Yes.
Let me tell you, those are signs to show unprofessionalism because civilians were not with guns. Civilians were not with any weapons. This is a country where people carry peace plans to move around, and the government still arrest, and lock them.
But from the
So
communique,
all this thing we
from the communique, you see, he said, let me read it to you so that we agree, because you have raised an issue that, but he said that in an inappropriate reaction unsuited to the circumstances and manifestly disproportionate to the hostile villagers, keyword hostile villagers, refusal to cooperate, the soldiers in hasty reaction of self-protection use their weapons.
Mr. Jarvis, it's a disgrace. Let me tell you. So if you come to a village and people doesn't cooperate, were they holding guns? The military has made himself in such a way civilians no more even want to communicate with them. Let me tell you something. I remember when my father was in the military. I've stayed in 8 regions in Cameroon. If I tell you, I had my first school living certificate in Betua. I've stayed in the my father, let me say so. The military were supposed to be the best friends of the population. The best. We're talking of the best in such a way that if anything happens, you found it. Or whatsoever. But in Cameroon is the reverse. Let me tell you, a military or a policeman.
What is this now?
You are there to back what he will come around. In Cameroon, I mean, the communication section of the Minister of Defense is just writing something that have been within them. They just do it because they want to please the outside world. But there is something they fail to understand, like what happened in the north. There's a satellite. Look, Cameroon can be proof in every circumstance. It's just like there was a time somebody sit in this very media house and said, there will be a time the International Court of Justice will remove certain files and nobody will believe. There's a satellite that sees everything in this world. Not to talk of this country with crises like Cameroon and other few ones. That's why when when you are being convoked to the International Court of Justice, you think you'll be smart. There are videos, there are pictures in every aspect. Atonfa is just backing his boss, his government because of his position. Cameroon has been a country where everybody knows. Though it happened in some countries, but the way Cameroon has taken things, it is exaggerating. It's exaggerating. Everywhere in America, both white and black, when you talk about Cameroon, they say, oh, the key English people. Why are they doing that? I mean, it's funny. You kill innocent citizens.
Okay.
You say they are not cooperating.
Do you think that justice, now that the military has admitted that this happened, do you think justice will be served?
There will never be justice. Let me tell you. I come from a section where happened. That happened on the
14th of February. 14th of February in 2020.
Yeah, it's always a remarkable day. I call it Valentine's Day. It was a disgrace. You kill your own citizens. You even refuse and try to back up with so many things. And the government go behind and give small envelopes. We don't even know what happened. They said those guys are in prison. I know the secret of the military. You commit and act this way, tomorrow you are transferred to another site. That is not. Look, those guys were supposed to be judged publicly with the media. There's nothing. Let me tell you, even me, Michael, here in America, if I I commit a sin here now, within 30 minutes is too much. CNN, BBC, all those information will be linked, and the entire world will know within seconds. Cameroon government was supposed to judge any military that go against certain rules and regulations publicly with the media and sent to prison publicly, and the media will confirm everything. But in Cameroon, things are being hidden. Some of the things the media only hear, they don't say there's justice. There's no justice in Cameroon.
Okay.
There's no justice.
Okay,
in Cameroon.
we'll be coming back to you. We'll be coming back to you. I want us to look at this issue of justice, Ndiwum Emmanuel, because there is what we call the principle of natural justice that states that also looked at the issue that justice, that is the Numia Jutex, that justice should not only be served, but should be seen to be served. Let me take you, you know, in retrospect, on the 20th of May, which was, I think, 2018, Baby Mata was killed. And so also, we come now to the aspect of 14th of February 2020, there was a killing in Gabu, where people also talked about it. And Barrister Agobala Ferris Kamto Akeremuna were the first to react and stated that the military actually carried out this. But we saw a good number of maybe newspapers with same headlines condemning this statement, stating that this statement have reasons want to jeopardize the national unity of the country, not patriotic. But after the government or the president of the republic launched an inquiry, a commission, it was revealed that this incident actually took place. But we did not see a rejoinder from some of these media organs which had earlier passed a judgment against state personalities who had earlier echoed that this had happened. And now, do you still see a same paradigm repeating itself?
Tah Mai Jarvis. For us to stop seeing the same paradigm repeating itself, I have said it. I will say it again. In pedagogy, they say repetition is the mother of pedagogy. If Yaoundé ones that we keep repeating every day, we will be repeating. We will not see any justice. That's what I'm saying. Even an iota of justice, it's already history. Look, when you talk about baby matter, let's assume, like my brother said, the last option of the military is to kill. If a military man sees that his life is already at a lifeline. Now, we think a military man shoots when he sees a harmful weapon. To go by this, was baby matter holding a gun, a knife, an explosive? Was they to away and go to where those who were receptive were there? Why did you choose to gun them down? 9 of them, including an 18-year-old baby. And we are talking about justice. The only justice that can lead to permanent and long-lasting peace in Cameroon is for the president at this time. Abraham Lincoln said, and I quote, "There is no shame in tears. When you are already in tears, there is no shame." The president needs to put down the ego, the pride, and everything. Summon the same courage that he summoned at the airport when he was declaring this war. Tah Mai Jarvis, to call for a ceasefire.
When you say he was declaring this war, many say the president never declared the war. The president was
everybody.
The president was reacting to an act of violence within the country and stating that those
Tah Mai Jarvis,
violence will be brought to
listen, you are pushing me to become emotional. It means that he did not know the realities of his country until when he found himself in war, after declaring war against. Till today, I've been asking this question: who is a terrorist or a secessionist in Cameroon? Those who claim that he declared a war against terrorists and secessionists. Okay, today the terrorists and the secessionists are still there. Declare a ceasefire also for the terrorists and the secessionists, because the war between the terrorists and the secessionists and the armed forces and the regular armed forces of the government is weighing heavily on the middleman, the common man. So to stop the common man, go back to that airport, declare a ceasefire on the between the terrorists and the government forces, so that the common man can have peace. A grandmother at Abu, a grandmother in Akwaya, Tinto, Manyemen, Talangaye does not know what they are dying for, but they are dying. A woman in Mugaf, a woman in Bafmen cannot go to Fundong to sell his produce. She is dying for what she did not bargain for. So let him declare a ceasefire for the terrorists and the secessionists. I put it in quote because I am still digging deep to get a real definition of who is a terrorist in Cameroon. Because going by the principles of secession, I think we have refused secession, and Yaoundé has been imposing it on us.
So you say we have refused secession.
Us, the Anglophones.
You say, and Yaoundé is imposing secession.
Let me just give you one example.
Coming from an effective, no, an accelerated decentralization.
Yes. Tell me one reason why Northwest, which is the third economic city of Cameroon, should be cut off from other main towns or main cities of the same country without a road. Why is Bamenda Babaju not that till today? People now make 2 days to enter Bamenda.
It's a war now. This is the
Which war? No, please, don't be an advocate for the government.
I'm just saying what people.
Don't be an advocate. So I am saying that we have said no to that separation. That it will not take place. And if the government insists in cutting us away from the other parts of the country, we will have no option than to tar that road even with our own bare hands. That road must be tarred, Tah Mai Jarvis. And it must be linked to Bafoussam, because we must leave from Bamenda, move safely to Yaoundé. It will not be cut off. So when you tell us about separatists and terrorists, who are the terrorists and who are the separatists? Those who are fighting hard because the money is there to tar that road. Why is the road not tarred? Go to Kumba, go to Ekondo Chichi. Why is the road not tarred? The people there are suffering.
It's the war.
Go to Ndian, where petrol comes from.
It's the war. The war has affected.
No. When a failed government looks for an opportunity to give excuses all the time, let's say it the way it is. Even the ring road that must have been promised when I was 2 years old. 2 years old. I am not sure that Amber ever went and burned down any machine stationed there for the construction of that ring road, Tah Mai Jarvis. Let's not be advocates for the devil.
I'll be coming back to you, Ndiwum. I'll also, before get into Mr. Atem, I'll take some few messages. Mr. Nick, before coming to you and ending with Mr. Atem, let me take on a few messages. But let's stop deceiving ourselves. The lives of Southern Cameroonians do not matter to the regime. We don't render justice to the dead people. 2020 was Ngabu, 2021 is Misong. What next? This is coming from Edwin in Banjul once again. This one says, good afternoon to you all. I believe that there will be no justice on what happened. There was one military man that was killed in Kumba called Ayak. This man have shot more than 3 people in the bar just because of his girlfriend, and some persons died and legs have to be cut off. So, and they did it to transfer him to Douala. So where is justice? This is coming from John. Thank you very much. This other read, it says, good afternoon to you all. Thanks for the program. I think there will not be justice because justice has never been served in Cameroon as far as the war is concerned. This is coming from Amos in Yaoundé. Dan Kingsley from Konya says there will be no justice on what happened. Also, this other read, it says, I think the word justice does not exist in the dictionary in Yaoundé and also in Cameroon. Maybe you should say injustice will be done to them. This is coming from an anonymous sender. Good evening to you people in the studio. I am enjoying your program. Keep it up. Please tell Mr. Ndiwum Emmanuel that Kawa Yannick has been to the DDR center. This other read is it is talking. Thank you very much for your participation. This good afternoon to you. The studio Nambere State with Moja Moja. Who is Moja Moja? A member of the elite military corps that B, and why was he not arrested? I think Moja Moja should be arrested first of his own utterance. And this is coming from an anonymous sender. Nick, let me come to you on this issue of justice, if justice will be served. I want to take you down also retrospect in December 10th, 2020, in Chomba village, located in the northwest region. 4 civilians were taken away by the military, and after that in that Chomba village, some were discovered dead, and also some were found dead, including men and women. After the 4 civilians were taken by the military, probably for questioning, they found dead without nobody knowing who killed them or how they died. So also if you look at what happens in Ngomba village, which is located in Bamenda, a 3-year-old baby was shot dead, according to a report from the Human Rights Watch, which indexed that it was done by separatist fighters. And Human Rights Watch also indicated that a 17-year-old was injured in the same attack, where a 3-year-old girl was shot dead. And to tell you that there've also been also reports from the Human Rights Watch indexing series of killings from the military, though government has always debunked some of them. Now, do you see with this trend, none have we witnessed justice? Could this be the first time that the Cameroon government want to set the pace?
I don't think so. I think this matter has ended like this. After this communique, you will not hear anything of those 9 people. The Cameroon government is a government that you can predict, and from the way they look at, they do their things, you can predict what will happen next. From what they have been doing, you can easily know what they will do next. Just hastily removing that communique is just an end to that matter. We have seen a series of communiques that have been removed in the past, but we have never seen justice being served to these people. And I don't think that it will happen, but in this case, we don't need to. The Cameroon military in those 2 regions, I think it's difficult, first of all, for the population to cooperate with them. Because, first of all, there's this barrier, this language barrier. The Cameroon military just appear and is there acting like a force of occupation. For example, if you go to you go to a region that doesn't speak French, and right up to even at the level of, even keep the military aside, go to even just the police force that is supposed to be the friend of the people they see every day. The police force that appear, they speak French to the common people, and I would even understand the language they're talking. How do you expect somebody who is not even understanding what you're saying to cooperate with you? That's why, with all of this frustration, the military tend to look at everybody who lives in that region as a terrorist. Whether you like it or not, whether they admit that directly or indirectly, but intrinsically, to them, everybody who lives in that region is an amber. Even when you go there, visit most of their discussion, because sometimes we go there, we'll discuss with some of them. When you hear most of their discussion, in their own thinking, everybody is an amber. They believe that they know where the amber fighters are, and they don't want to reveal to them. So the Cameroon military cannot be appearing like a force of occupation and then expect the common man to cooperate. They don't understand. They don't understand their language.
At least the Ministry of Defense allowed the collaboration between the civilians and the force of law and order in the rescue/release operation of most revered Senator Redina Mundi.
I think we should not go into that debate now, because there are a lot of
whether
polemics.
It's debate or not, we saw the communique that we want to thank the collaboration of the population.
There are a lot of polemics surrounding the release of that senator.
No, I'm talking the word collaboration.
Yeah, we don't know who collaborated with who for her release. But we are saying, on a general sense, the military appears there like a force of occupation. This is a judgment of the people. And there's no way the population is just so natural. There's no way. It's just like a stranger comes to your village and then is trying to get information from you in a language you're not even understanding. How will you collaborate with that kind of person? Because the language of the military, which is supposed to be bilingual to me, in a bilingual country, is supposed to be, the language of military is unfortunately French. And most of the military people who are sent there are French speaking. They don't even understand the common pidgin English. Most of them don't even understand pidgin English.
Okay.
Talk less of the English they are supposed to speak. So when they appear, if you want to see, leave from here to Boya, go to the first checkpoint in Moselelele. The police people checking you there speak French. I'm talking something I witness every week. You want to travel that road. They speak French to you, and most of the time I respond in English, they will speak in French. So most of these things, it's not bilingualism. You should not go, you are not supposed to go to a region and work in a language you don't understand. Okay. The language of the people. You just appear there like a terrorist.
Let me get to Atem. Atem. We are almost wrapping up with the program. What will be your last word for the peace-loving people of the Northwest and Southwest region?
My peace-loving people of the Northwest and Southwest region should be first. I will say they are the most patriotic Cameroonians. First of all, that's my word. And anywhere in this part of the world, I will still tell you, they are the most patriotic Cameroonians. Then, I would like them to continue with their loving collaboration.
Yes.
Also ever come closer to them, because I won't say the military, because the language the military use is inappropriate. The characters the military use are inappropriate. Because the military was supposed to be the most submissive to the people.
But at least the military praised the collaboration between the people of where Senator Nyamundi was released or rescued. The military praised the population for that collaboration.
Senator Mundi was not rescued. Senator Mundi was released. She was released, and we know everything here abroad. We know everything. She was released.
That's another topic. That's another topic. That's another topic. I will be coming back to you. We are out of time.
Okay, I will use the opportunity to thank all my brothers in the stadium, Ndiwum Emmanuel, Nix, and yourself, Jarvis, and to say we'll continue with this and keep educating our people, and then we'll pray that the Cameroon government learn from all what people have been saying.
Yeah, we hope next week we'll successfully get you effectively on Skype by next week, so that we can resolve this. We'll keep the conversation on backstage. Just we'll get back to you. Ndiwum Emmanuel, last word. We're out of time.
Well, my last word is that the Cameroon government needs to rethink. We have been saying this every day, and we'll keep saying it. And for people like Nambere and Kongo, they need to be brought to book. They need to bring them back to Cameroon. I think there's a lot that needs to be exploited from them, because where they are still manipulating people back in Cameroon to multiply more problems. So I am sending this message to Cameroon. These two people.
What is it, Kongo? Who is
Kongo is the person who failed to divide Cameroon, because his primary objective when he picked up guns was to divide Cameroon, so he failed. And from that failure, he's no longer success in Congo. He failed. That's why you see him ranting every day. So Cameroon government, please, use your collaborative intelligence, bring back these people to Cameroon. They have something to say about what is happening everywhere. While for the loving people, peace-loving people of Northwest and Southwest, stay strong. Tough times last, but tough people never last.
Thank you for coming here.
Thank you, Tah Mai Jarvis. Thank you for having me once more here. And I think my last word goes to the Cameroon government. We know there is stubborn government, but we'll keep telling them the truth every day. It is high time they call for ceasefire and do things the right way. We know we are being governed by people who don't care, people who are closer to their graves, and they don't care if the rest of the country sinks. But we're pleading that before they go, before they leave us, because when they leave, no human being is greater than this country. All of us will pass away, but this country will remain. But it is not wisdom in your own turn to sing the country before you leave.
Okay.
And we are pleading that they should leave this country in peace, the way they made it, so that the next generation that's coming will be able to enjoy this country. Okay. That's what we are pleading on them. Ceasefire is the word.
Thank you.
If there's no, there cannot be any solution without
good
any
day
ceasefire.
to you all in the studio enjoying the program. Back to talk about justice, 9 civilians in Bamenda. I wish to ask if you've ever heard the word justice exists in Cameroon, and this is not just the first time such is happening. And thank you very much. And also want to also say that ID cards are not being checked from those who are coming from West Region in Sancho, but those who are coming from Bamenda, their ID cards are being checked. Thank you very much. All those of you who took our time to participate on the program on our Facebook page. My advice for you is that if you want to watch us, you can watch us on YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is BT Media Group is our YouTube channel. You can follow My Media Prime on Twitter. My Media Prime on Twitter, the Twitter handle is My Media Prime Television. Or you can follow us on Facebook, also on BT Media Facebook page, where you have shortcuts of videos of programs that you may want to get the talking points. You can also be a member of our panel if you want to participate in our next edition, or become a member of our WhatsApp group to participate on our next edition. The numbers are on your screen, 676431384. I'll leave you with this: no matter the matter, what matters is your matter. And what should matter for you is that stay out of trouble. My name is Tah Mai Jarvis from Cameroon's economic capital, Douala. Feng Gudong. Bange Kotobu na Musadi. Bye-bye.